Hello and welcome back to this Kidsclublocke. Like this old man here, I've had my coffee now and I feel great. So let's dive into the second episode and see which encounters the game has in store for me. FYI, this NPC's quote is something I might want on a t-shirt sometime later, when I'm like 86 years old, and my life revolves around that kind of thing. And here's where I almost make my first mistake of this episode. As I walk into the grass, I get an encounter, and as you can see on this mini-map here, this patch of grass, along with Viridian Forest, counts as the entirety for Route 2, along with the small patch of grass that we'll find later on just before Pewter City. Luckily for me, this encounter is a Pidgey, which means it's duplicate claws. Okay, quick explanation. If you find a Pokemon you already have, then you can do the encounter again. In this case, I am going to do the encounter again in Viridian Forest, because I need a Butterfree with a special move to make things easier against Brock. But here's the catch. I use Gust on Metapod with Air France, and it knocks Metapod down to about half. But when I try a Pokeball, Metapod jumps out. So now I am in doubt between chucking another Pokeball or trying another Gust. But of course, Air France crits, and Metapod gets killed. Bye-bye encounter. So now I am in a little bit of trouble, because I only have Bob and Air France to face off against Brock, and neither of those Pokemon are particularly good against his rock and ground types. I could of course overlevel them and show up with a level 25 Pikachu and a level 20 Pidgeotto, but I don't like doing that. I prefer sticking to the unwritten rule where your Pokemon can only be as high as the gym leader's ace, which in this case is Brock's level 12 Onix. So we're sticking to level 12. After getting a couple of levels, it is now time for Brock. This is probably one of the more stressful and exciting fights against Brock I've ever had. So, what exactly is the plan here? Do I even have a strategy? Yes, I do. But it's not pretty. it's something that most people would consider bad sportsmanship. The plan is to spam Sand Attack on Brock's Pokemon, and then when they can't hit anything anymore, I switch in Pikachu and throw in a bunch of Tail Whips. I have to do this because my only moves that hit his Pokemon are Quick Attack and Gust, so I need to lower their defense to hope to do some kind of damage. Quick Attack after Quick Attack after Quick Attack, and finally Geodude goes down. But now we're facing off against Onix. So what is my best move here? I'm contemplating switching in Air France to spam Sand Attack, but I have to take into account that the Pidgey will take some damage and will probably faint. So I decide to stick with Pikachu, throw in all those Tail Whips now, and then when Pikachu faints, which is unfortunately the choice that I have to make here, I can send in Pidgey and spam Sand Attack. But after a couple of turns, it becomes clear to me that Brock's moves are actually a lot more predictable. He uses Bide a couple of times, which gives me 2 or 3 free turns to use Tail Whip, and he also uses Screech, which means I can go for 1 or 2 Tail Whips and then a Quick Attack before he even deals damage to me. And then finally, Brock decides to put the pressure on and use Bind. Now I have to make the decision if I'm gonna let Bob fall to Bind or switch in the bird and try and get around Bind that way. Bob fights valiantly and lays in another Quick Attack, but then the pressure of Bind is just too much, and Bob, our friend, our starter Pokemon, goes down. The question now becomes, will the run end here? Or can this half-dead Pidgey perform a miracle and turn this fight around? As we watch Onix's tackle miss, a tackle, by the way, that could have ended my run, I'm happy that I used so many Sand Attacks because they came in clutch, and right now, Pidgey can pick up the win. This fight was way too close for comfort though, and seeing as we lost Bob, that means we're gonna play another Kids Club minigame to decide if I am allowed to keep Bob. And of course, it's Clefairy Says. Well, at least we know the rules of the game by now. If you look at the board behind the Clefairy teacher, she will give you instructions which are directions for dance moves. And the object of the game is to memorize all of them. So this is a chance to redeem myself from last time when I failed miserably. And ladies and gentlemen, you are witnessing history here as you are watching one of the biggest victories that my ADHD brain has ever achieved. I memorized most of the moves and look what happens here. This is great news because this means I get to keep Bob. And I get to keep one of my highest level Pokemon at this stage. So, with that great news, we're going to move on to the route in between Pewter City and Mount Moon, which will have a bunch of trainers for me with some good XP, and there will be 2 encounters, one on Route 3 and one on Route 4. On our way to Mount Moon, we fight a bunch of trainers, and we pretty much clear out the whole route with bug catchers and junior trainers and that sort of stuff until we come upon the next encounter. I won't lie, I was kinda hoping for Sandshrew or Jigglypuff here, but beggars can't be choosers. And with that, we move on to Mount Moon once again. This time, my encounter will be inside Mount Moon, and it will be the first taste of the next part of this challenge. And I'm hoping my encounter will be a Geodude, because I kinda need Pokemon that I can switch into some physical damage that can take some hits, and a Geodude would be nice. Fingers crossed. Well, that's enough excitement for today. I'm gonna head to the Pokemon Center, heal my Pokemon. Save the game and call it a day. Thank you again for watching, and I hope that you will join me again soon for episode 3.